Alone at the top, indeed. Yet another milestone for Caitlin Clark this weekend as she became the all-time leading scorer in both men's and women's NCAA hoops, passing Pete Maravich, now with 3,685 points and counting, as she enters the final postseason of her groundbreaking career. As we told you at the top, she is the unanimous Big Ten Player of the Year, and we are pleased to have Caitlin Clark with us now. It is our big interview. Caitlin, appreciate you doing this. This is the third time you've won this award. It was unanimous. I don't think it's a great surprise to any of us. That being said, though, how does this compare to winning it the first couple of times?
I think it's always special. I think, our team's playing really good basketball, and that always helps when we win these type of awards. But I think the Big Ten has so many tremendous players in it. So anytime you win an award like this, it's obviously very special. And I've been lucky enough to do it 3 times. And, I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for my coaches and my teammates. And Coach Bluter has really allowed me to thrive ever since I stepped on campus. So I'm just really thankful for her, too.
It's been such a remarkable journey here, and I do want to use a little bit of this interview to reflect on it. I want to talk about the milestones first, and we just talked about the one passing Pete Maravich this weekend, Kelsey Plum. I mean, you kind of go on and on, Lynette Woodard. It's been amazing. Seems like virtually every week there's a new one. Is there one of those moments, or maybe it isn't one of those milestone moments, that really stands out to you? Like when you think about this year to this point, what's the moment that is most imprinted in your mind?
That's hard. I feel like there's so many. I think just this past weekend at Carver, being able to be in front of our fans on senior night was super special. And then Lynette Woodard was here. Obviously, I had passed her the prior game at Minnesota. And then obviously breaking Pete's record, and then having Maya Moore in the house. So I think all of that combined made for this past Sunday to be a really special win for us. And obviously beating Ohio State, who already won the conference outright, is some great momentum for us going into the Big Ten tournament. But just being surrounded by people that have supported me so much in my final regular season game at Carver was truly, really special. So if I had to pick one, I would pick just this weekend, Sunday at Carver.
And, of course, that came on the heels, too, of you making the announcement that this would be your final year and that you're going to head to the WNBA next year. What were the biggest factors that went into that decision?
Well, it was definitely a really hard decision. And I think the biggest thing for myself was I felt like I'm just kind of ready for a new challenge. And I feel like my game has developed enough to where I can begin to play in the WNBA. Obviously, there's going to be things that for me to learn, and that's what's so exciting. And that's always been my dream. And obviously, there's pros and cons to both, and I would have loved to be able to do both and make our fans happy, make everybody else happy. But I feel like this season has allowed me to have a lot of closure, and just making the announcement when I did, I think is kind of the same, to enjoy senior night, to allow my teammates to enjoy senior night and not distract from them, because 4 other really great seniors that are on our team and who I've been through a lot with, and we've been able to do a lot of really good things. So I think those were kind of the biggest reasons why I felt like it was good to just kind of get it off my chest and then just play free basketball for the rest of the year.
I think any time that you make a big decision in life, whatever it is, right, choosing a college, something like this where you decide to move on, there's a natural reflection that comes along with it, right? I mean, there's an understanding that, hey, this is something now that's going to come to an end, something new that's going to start. As this chapter does come to an end, how much did that decision cause you to reflect on kind of where you've been?
Yeah, I think it has allowed me to reflect a lot. I think the biggest thing is time goes so fast, and it's hard for me to really wrap my head around the fact that I'm a senior and I've played my last regular season game in Carver. Lucky enough, we're going to be able to host 2 more. But I think I'm just very confident and happy with how my career's gone, and that's allowed me a lot of closure and what I've been able to do here. But yeah, it's obviously sad. And I think as time goes on, I'll be able to wrap my head around it more and go back and reflect. Obviously, my main goal is still to continue to win the Big Ten tournament, and then obviously, hopefully win a national title. So it's not too sad yet. I think my best basketball is ahead of me, and our best basketball is ahead of us. And I think we're playing really well right now. And that's something about Coach Bluter. She always has her teams playing the best basketball in March. And I think we're just excited.
As you do reflect, though, is there a moment, Caitlin, where you realized in your time at Iowa, this isn't normal anymore? Like, hey, I'm famous. This is different than it was when I arrived here?
I think it's obviously a lot different, because when I first stepped on campus, I'm playing in front of cardboard cutouts, and now I'm playing in front of 15,000 people. You can't get a ticket to get in the door. There's people all over the tunnel whenever I walk off, and it still feels like I'm kind of living in a dream, and that's never ever anything you take for granted. And I just feel like I was just that young kid. So I try to make as much time as I can for them. And yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a specific moment. I feel like over this course of this whole entire year, my senior year, the sellouts never get old, the fans never get old. Playing in front of those type of environments, that's like what women's basketball should be and will be going forward. And I think that's what we're most proud of.
It's interesting you talk about the huge throngs. I mean, it really is amazing to see it. I can't imagine what it's like for you, both in terms of being rewarding, but also of being overwhelming. And I'm amazed by the grace with which you handle it. And I think it's an incredible credit to you, the way that you've done this kind of game in and game out. It's so big for all these people watching you. And for you, it's another game, and it's going to happen again the next time that you play. How do you want those young girls, mostly girls, although, it certainly is some boys too, but overwhelmingly girls, how do you want them to think about you, and how do you want them to see you?
I think just as a positive role model, and a lot of my role models growing up were women's basketball players. And I think hopefully I can inspire young boys and young girls to dream to do whatever they want, whether it's, be a basketball player, that's great, or be any athlete, or be a doctor, or be a veterinarian, whatever it is. I think just setting your minds to whatever you want to do. And I think that was kind of my story, is my parents never told me I couldn't do something. I grew up playing sports with the boys. That they never told me that was different. Like, that's all I knew. My dad was my first ever coach, even when I played with the boys. So I think that's just the biggest thing, is like always dream. Like, I'm still 22 years old and I still have so many dreams left to accomplish. And, that never stops.
I don't know if you saw this. There was an open letter in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune this week that kind of went viral. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was amazing, right? So just to bring people up to date who haven't seen it, it was a doctor, a native of Sri Lanka, I believe, who talked about the way that you and watching you play had connected him to one of his daughters, and that it was something that brought them together and was special. I'm just curious, kind of your reflection on that letter, and then some thoughts on, like, how much responsibility is that? I mean, kind of what are the emotions when you see something like that?
Yeah, I think it really struck me because I vividly remember going to a Minnesota Lynx game with my dad, and it was like eerily similar to me doing that. Like, we stood up and we screamed the whole time. We were catching T-shirts. I remember I got a Rebecca Brunson jersey. It was kind of the same for him and his daughter, and they spent a lot of time and money to be able to go there and support me. So I feel like a responsibility to come out and perform every night and be able to put smiles on people's faces, but also, like, that's just what I love to do. I love to play basketball, and people just love the way I play. And I think that just comes with the fun of the game, but also the way our team plays. We play with so much joy. It's easy to root for us, and you can see how much fun we're having on the court. And reading that letter was super special. And I think those type of things mean more to me than any record or any award ever would. You can really see the true impact that you're having on people's lives. And whether you're young or old, you're kind of inspiring everybody.
Really cool stuff. I do want to talk about the team. I mean, let's focus on the task ahead. You talked about, you think maybe your best basketball is in front of you. Your team is coming off a huge win, as you said, against Ohio State. Now you head into the Big Ten tournament. You've won it 2 years in a row. You're still very much in the hunt for a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. How do you see this week potentially as a launching pad for you guys into what's next year in the postseason?
Yeah, I think we're really excited for this week. We kind of know how the Big Ten tournament goes every single year I've been here. We've played in the championship. So I think having that experience under our belt of you got to play, but then you got to move on and start prepping for the next opponent. You got to take care of your body. But also, I know our fans are going to be incredible. I know it's going to be like Carver up there in Minnesota. So we're going to be very thankful for that. And we're going to need to use it to our advantage, playing the winner of Penn State or Wisconsin. So we'll be challenged right from the start. But I think, like I said earlier, I think we're playing really great basketball right now. Hannah's playing great. Kate's playing great. Gabby's shooting the ball really well. So I'm excited for our group coming off a big win. You kind of just want to keep that momentum going forward. And then obviously, I think taking that into the NCAA tournament too. We want to win the Big Ten tournament and then carry that on over to the NCAA tournament. And, this is the most fun basketball. This is when you need to be playing your best. And I feel like we are right now. And I still think we can improve some. And that's what's so exciting.
Kayla, I'm going to leave you with this. You mentioned heading into the NCAA tournament last year, an all-time great national championship game. You guys came up on the short end of it. What would it take for this team? What needs to happen for this team to win it all this year?
Yeah, I think we understand how hard it is to get to that point now that we've done it. You need a little luck, you need a good draw, you need to be playing your best basketball. So a little of everything, but also I feel like we are doing that right now. But also you got to be resilient. If you want to make it to the national title game, you got to play about, I think, 6 games to get there. And, not everything's going to go your way. You're going to have a bad shooting night. Your team's going to have a bad shooting night. So finding other ways to win, I think that's going to be really important for us going forward. And just being resilient and going out there and having fun, because you never know when it might be your last time you're taking the court. And I think our group does a really good job of that.
Well, Caitlin Clark, it has been such a pleasure to watch you play, to represent the University of Iowa, to represent the Big Ten Conference. Congratulations on all of your success on this honor today as well. And we look forward to seeing what the postseason holds for Iowa and what your future holds as well. Congratulations on all your accomplishments.
Thank you so much.